part two of this video, we're gonna come off of where we stopped before. What we have is we have those walls, we have those openings, we have the floor, and we modeled these windows and doors. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take those windows. Let's select the window. Let's select the glass pane, and we're gonna rotate it. Now, if you look at this gumball option, you have a very quick rotating tool built in. You can see that this red line actually rotates it in this direction. So if we hold this red line, we can actually rotate it perfectly 90 degrees. And that's just going to help us in terms of how we move our window. Let's type in move. We're going to select one corner. We're going to select this end corner, and we're going to place it into this end corner. So now you can see that this window has been placed into this corner. Now let's select the mullion. Let's select our window pane, and we're just going to move it in. Just like a normal window. And of course the glass pane is usually inset about 3 inches from the interior, depending upon the window. So there we go. So now we have our window and glass pane put in. And we're going to do the same thing for this as well. So we're going to select both our panes. We're going to select the mullion, and we're going to use this time the green line, because you can see the green is moving in this direction. So let's select green. We're going to hold it and turn it up. Great. So now let's move it. Type in move, pick a corner, pick another corner, and there you go. Let's move it in. And we're using the red arrow to move it in. You can see that I'm pushing onto this red arrow. And we're going to do the same thing for the windows. Just move it in slightly. So now we have that. And finally, let's do our door. So we're going to select this. Once again, we're going to use red. Move. Corner. Corner. And oh, it's a little bit off. Let's fix that. So corner and corner, and let's move it out slightly and move the door pane in more. There you go. So you have the windows and you have the doors quickly placed in. Now if you look at it in rendered view, you can see that it's kind of looking like a small hut. You know, it's getting there. Let's go back to shaded. Let's copy and paste this one more time. And then we're going to use our elevations as kind of a reference as well. So let's delete anything that's unnecessary in our elevations. Let's delete these surfaces that we made. Delete. Delete. So now we have all of our elevations the way they are. Now what I recommend is you actually group these elevations together. So let's select these. Let's type in group. So now what happens is it's one entire grouped object. There are no single lines. They're one entire object. And if you want to ungroup it, it's quite simple. Just type in ungroup. Well, let's group these for now. Let's type in group. Let's do it for all of our elevations. And this is just helpful because you can actually start to rotate this. And now you can actually place these kind of onto the wall as kind of like a reference guide. So now we know that, okay, our wall sits on it like this. So that's quite nice. And you can actually just rotate all of those walls and place it kind of like a sandwich, how you almost unbox something. So finally, for our last part, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly get the roof. And how we're going to do the roof is it's a little bit, usually you have a hidden line in your plan, but then you can just use a box command. Let's type in distance. So we know our distance from this end to this end is 18.74 feet. So now we're going to quickly put a box. Let's go to our roof layer. We're going to select our boundaries, and let's type in 18.74 feet. That is our roof. And now we're going to quickly just place it. We're going to rotate it. We're going to put in move, and just move it to the midpoint. So we're selecting the midpoint. And you can do this in a number of ways. It's completely up to your preference. It's just easier in terms of just placing it there as well. Yeah, so that's kind of a quick roof, very crude roof that we have. And this house is, much simpler just in terms of modeling. It becomes, easier to understand. Let's go to rendered view. And now you can see we have, this very quickly modeled small hut and we have all of our layers. We have all those windows. Now, what's important about this is that this house will actually help in starting to generate multiple views. So let's copy and paste this right here. So this is our house, right? That's kind of what it looks like. If you go to ghosted view, you can see that the interior walls are showing as well. You have these window frames. And it's just going to help in terms of creating those multiple elevations. For example, I can look at this from the front view. Let's go to shaded view, and now I have elevation. So, and I can do the same with the right view. Let's go to right, let's go to shaded. And you can actually have all of these elevations. So what you realize is that this one model starts to kind of generate all of those elevations. So now you don't need to trace everything all over again. And now what you can also do is, let's say you select this object. Let's go to front view. Let's type in make 2D, enter. Current view, okay, great, okay. And when we go to top, we can see that it completely modeled our front elevation, just like that. And of course you can edit it, so you can actually delete anything unnecessary. But yeah, just, you know, you were able to very quickly model, very quickly get the 2D version of that 3D model. So that's it for this video. Of course, that's kind of how you can quickly generate kind of all of these different views. For the next part, we're going to show how you can actually make 2D all of those different views, and how you can start to get a perspective make 2D. And that's going to be covered in the next video. But for that, that's it.